Hello, everybody. How are you this Sunday, August 6th, I believe? Let me see. Yep, Sunday, August 6th. It is so good to see you. Polly, come here. Come here. Come here. Can you come up? Come on. Come on. Here is my grand dog, Polly. She is staying with us while her mommy is on a quick little vacation. And so I wanted her to say hello. Pat Fry has one very similar to our Polly. And oh, yeah, she's such a good girl. And she is the best guest you could ever have. A total sweetheart. And she's good. Okay, gotta go see Daddy. Going up and see Daddy. she'll take part. She loves when I talk happy. And when I'm on here with y'all, of course, I feel happy. So she is cool. Yep, she's a standard poodle. She's about 9 now, I think. And she's just a doll baby. So, and do you notice this lovely necklace that I have on? That's the first thing that I will talk about today. I know, Polly, another Polly. Odie is 10. Oh, Pat is here. Yes, I love Pat's Odie. So, yep, that's our Polly. She's 9. And this is a necklace I just got through making the last week. What I did is I have some blouses that you would, I guess, group say, oh, they're pink, but they're really more of a coral. And so it's always hard for me to find the right kind of pink. So when I was putting in an order from Joann Fabrics, I said, ooh, let me look through their scrapbook paper. And they had a sale. So for 32 cents, I bought a scrapbook paper that was a wonderful, wonderful kind of corally pink. And so there it is. And so I made the beads with them. And I made just some tube beads. I made some barrel beads, some small tube beads, but just made a variety of beads. And my newest thing, I thought, I want to show them that I can actually make beads that you can do something with. And what I did is, after I have a real rough, I ordered them. They're like emery boards, but they're large and they're really rough and they can be reused. You just can kind of brush them off and reuse them. So I used those to make sure the edges were all nice and smooth. Then I took paint and I mixed. Do you see? I don't know if you can see that paint on the edge. Let's see if it will sharpen up. Let me find a really pretty one that I did. But I took and mixed paint to give it that pinky coral look. And now that's the new thing I do with my paper beads. Instead of buying expensive metal grommets to put in on the end of them, you want to finish a paper bead, have a nice professional look. So I just dip them in acrylic paint. And I like to put a little bit of metallic. This had a little bit of Lumiere paints that I love, a little bit of that pinky metallic, and I mixed the color just to try to get as close to this as possible. And I dip each in, which makes the bead look very finished. And then I put my sealer. My sealer is, oh, I've forgotten the name of it now. But it's a real nice sealer that dries non-sticky. And then I took these little beads I had bought and put in between them. But now I have the perfect color necklace. And it cost me all of 40 cents. So you can't beat that. Oh, sorry, Polly. Can you go up to Daddy? Go see Daddy. Yeah, going up. Up. Go up and see Daddy. So she's not sure she should stay here with me. Go and see Daddy. Go on up. Go on up there. Go see Mark. She's not sure. So anyway, I don't know if y'all have had a, it's almost, I think, something I'm allergic to is out there. So anyway, I've got so many things to show you today and share with you. I have been a busy girl, and I wanted to thank you again for giving me this month of Thursday nights off. It just allows me to get deeper into things I want to do, because I'm not trying to plan a Thursday night show and not trying to plan a Sunday show. Now, I do want to say this. I had fun doing an impromptu sew and chat last week. So be looking. Oh, Sonia's here. Be looking for some more sew and chats, because I like that, because I can kind of just talk as I sew. I don't have to pre-plan, a show with all kinds of things to show you. I can just sit and talk. And I like talking. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yep. And because you can see, even with this shirt, it's not a pinky pink. It's, like I say, it has that coral pink. And the bead world hasn't quite caught up with that yet. But how inexpensive is this? And I put it on elastic yarn, elastic string, because that way I stretch it over this big head. It's easy to do. All right. Now, is our Marcia here? Let's see all who is here. I'm not sure our Marcia's here. There she is. Okay, Edwinice is here. Hello. Oh, you fell in the garage, Edwinice. I'm so sorry you fell. Oh, 2 days you were on the floor. Oh, honey, I am so sorry. Is your sister okay? Because I would have hoped your sister would have been there. I'm so sorry. So then Meltem is here. Hi, Meltem. Meltem has been vacationing. Was it near the Black Sea? I'm trying to remember, but I'm so tickled. I've got photos to show you. She was kind enough to send us some photos from her vacation in Turkey. Yay, her family has a house there. So let's see. So Mary is here. Hello, Mary. Let's see. And just to tell you, I am doing good, but I had to send a renewal request to my doctor, because I don't think I'm done with the UTI yet. As can happen, a few days after I stopped taking the antibiotics, I started feeling it again. So I put a request in, and thank goodness I have Azo. That's really helping me. So anyway, we'll see how we do. But yeah, I'm worried about. BB is here. Hello, BB. All right, let's see. Is that Lisa? Lisa is here. I have missed our Lisa. That is great to see her. Debbie. Hi, hon. In fact, I have some things. While I'm mentioning Debbie, she sent me a little package. I think y'all remember that I burnt my finger really badly. And there's the little indentation and the scar, but I think it healed well. But I did that trying to grab a mug out of the microwave. She sent me bowl cozies. Is this so sweet? I love these. Thank you so much. I was telling Mark about them, and I said, not only does it keep your soup bowl protected from your hands, it keeps the soup warm. Or if you get a bowl of ice cream and you want to keep it cold, or I'm going to use these for when I have a bowl of cereal, because I hate when the milk warms up in the cereal bowl. So thank you so much, Debbie, for these. That is the sweetest thing. So thank you. That was very kind of you. I got so excited. Mark said, you got a present. You're kidding. So I was thrilled, but so good to see Lisa back. Oh, this is nice. Pat here. How great to see Pat. I've got some pictures from Pat. She's had her grandkids there with her like all summer, and they've taken turns to come visit. So isn't that nice? And hello to Odie. So, the grandchildren have gone to their rightful owners. Ah, isn't that sweet? And I know in a way it's like, okay, I can relax. I don't have to worry about who's hungry, who needs what meal, whatever. And we're going to think about Don and hope that he continues to get better, sweetheart. Jody is here. Yay. And how good is it to see our dear Sonia. And let's see who else. I am just thrilled to see all of you. Oh, Castamanus. Oh boy, I don't even think I'm going to try to say it, but Castamanus CD. Oh, that's neat. So, all right. It is so good to see everyone. Thank you so much. So now that I know Miss Marcia is here, I have decided, I was looking at this and trying to decide, am I going to put fringe on it? Am I going to hang wooden beads from it? What do I do from here? And it needs to be blocked, which you wet it pretty good, and then you pin it down to something firm and try to get it as flat as possible, and then let it dry untouched, and that hopefully will block it. So, but I have decided, I was looking at this and I decided, I love this thing, and it's got so many colors and so many yarns, but I don't know what to do with it next. So I've decided our dear Marcia is here every week, welcomes people, is so kind to everyone. I'm going to forward this on to Miss Marcia and let her decorate it any way she wants. She can sew beads on it. A new hat. I guess you could kind of, knowing Miss Marcia, she could continue crocheting and turn it into something. But I'm going to forward this to Miss Marcia, my first ever, my only ever fiber weaving. I've done basket weaving, but never this. I'm going to send this to Miss Marcia, and Miss Marcia, you can decide what should happen to it next. So, all righty. So that's what I was going to tell everybody. Don is improving. Ah, good. So, Marcia, I'll make sure. I'm pretty sure I have your address, but if not, but I thought, you know what? This is where I know Miss Marcia knows everything about crocheting and all of that. And I'm going to let her decide what is next with this sweet thing. So please know, Miss Marcia, I love you and I thank you very much. And do with it whatever you want. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a good housekeeping message. And that's going to be, do you see this pen? Ridiculous. Oh my gosh, look at this one. This is even worse. My housekeeping message is, it's time to go through your pen cushions. It's time to go through your pen cushions and weed out bent pens that aren't sharp, sewing needles that have been there so long, they're no longer sharp. And I've got a plastic container I'm going to put these in. But if it's not sharp, if it's hard to get into something, if it is bent, if it has corrosion, I wasn't even sure. Look at this corrosion. Let me see. Come on. I'm waiting for it to fall. There it is. See that corrosion on that? Then anything, oh, here's more corrosion. Anything that is subpar comes out of here. I have 3 new types because I got several different types. And, oh, you're welcome, Miss Edwinese. We'll think of you carefully. I got these just because they were cute, but I got all brand names because, I'm cheap. But even I know that anymore, if you want to get a quality pen, and quality pens are worth it, we use them every single day, but quality pens are worth it. And I have not replaced my pens in years and years. So it's time to go through my pen cushions. The other day, I took one of my softer pen cushions and I smushed it and smashed it. I do this and see if there are any needles that go down in the pen cushion and if I can bring them back up. Then if I can bring them out of the pen cushion, I check them for corrosion. If there's corrosion, they get thrown away. But I bought 3 new packages of Clover and Dritz pens. And I've already gone through all my upstairs pen cushions and cleaned them out. So if this is a good time for you to buy new pens, I waited till they were on sale and then ordered them. The best prices I've found for pens are coming from Joann's and Walmart. And Walmart, definitely pretty cheap, and Joann's if they're on sale. But just a reminder, every once in a while, go through your pen cushions and refresh them, because just too often they're like the kitchen junk drawer. They collect clips, safety pins, they collect sewing feet, they collect weird needles that should go back into the package in the drawer. They collect sewing machine needles that have been in them so long they've corroded. So do yourself a favor, put fresh, good quality needles. Now, pens and needles too, but anyway, but I use pens more because I sew mostly by machine. Make sure you read the comments on the pens, because there were some that are really cute and have hearts on the end and butterflies on the end. But if you read the reviews, people's comments, they can be thin and they bend. If you just look at them, they can be dull, or the pack can come with numerous ones that the top isn't even on it anymore, or it's defective. So a good deal is not a good deal if the pens are dull, if they don't have the right top, if they're corroded for any reason. Corroded pens, you can kind of feel when you're putting them in and out of a pen cushion. You can kind of feel them drag. That's terrible. You don't want anything. You spend good money on fabric. You don't want the pens to prick and pull at the fabric's fibers, the threads in the fabric, because they can actually, they can make a run in your fabric. You don't want that. So I thought, since I was doing it for all of my pen cushions, I thought I would pass along, whenever you can afford it, buy good quality new pens and think of what you've used them for. There are many different reasons that you have pens. Here is an applique pen. My favorite applique have this little white rounded end. These are wonderful because the ones that have the metal kind of, they look like this, that they have a flat metal end, they catch the thread while you're trying to do applique. These are rounded so that it just the thread slips off of them. Then you can have good flat-headed pens. They're wonderful. I use these for piecing. because they're relatively thin, which means they can bend easily. And when they bend, throw them out. Once a pen has bent, you can straighten it out, but it's never as strong. It will bend again. So throw them out. But I like flat-headed pens because they're easy to grasp, because as your hands get more and more arthritic, it's hard to pick up pens, but also they lay flat. So when you're sewing, they lay flatter. Then there are some real pretty painted pens, but usually they're thicker and they just don't do the job you want penning. Now, then there are glass-headed pens, and they're usually fine, and they're wonderful because you can iron over these and they won't melt. These flat-headed pens will melt. Now, they do have some out now that are melt resistant, but they were expensive, so I didn't get them. Another good pen for piecing are these ball-headed pens, and I think Dritz makes them. If I'm going to use a pen for piecing, I like almost 2 inches of a pen. I have big hands, and also I have found for more accurate piecing, you don't just want to go once into fabric, you want to go twice. Let me show you what I mean. Because to pen fabric, you don't want it to twist. So what I do when I'm pinning my fabric to get ready to sew, I go in it 1 time and I go in it 2 times. You see that? That way the fabric can't twist. It is in good, and your pen is less likely to fall out and get underfoot. So, and here is a yellow glass-headed pens. The glass-headed pens are more expensive, but they're good if you want to be able to press it with the pen in place. So there are different kind of pens for different reasons. There are some very short, sturdy pens that some people like. It just depends on what you like. I haven't tried any of the brand new Easy Grip pens. I did get a pack when they first came out, and I felt like those things were railroad spikes. So I saved them for when I want to post something on a memo board. But supposedly now they have the Easy Grasp pen in fine silk, all that. So at some point I'll try them. They're just very expensive. They're at least twice as expensive. So maybe when the price comes down, I'll do more of that. And another thing I'm going to do with these pen cushions is I'm going to segregate. The nice thing about these little the tomato pin cushions is they have little strings that separate them into segments. What I'm going to do is separate by pen type so that I know if I want a flat-headed, boom, I go to this segment, all of my flat-headed. This segment, if I insist on keeping sewing machine needles that I remove for whatever reason, I'll have those in one. I'll have my applique pins in another segment. So it's just kind of like, spring cleaning of your bobbins, because they tend to be neglected. All righty. So just thought I would point that out. Also, I'm finding that my seam rippers are getting pretty dull. So if you have any hints on how you can sharpen existing seam rippers, because I was looking for them, and even on sale they're $5, and I'm not wanting to spend that right now. Joann Fabrics, I think it's over this weekend, but they're having a buy 3 get 3, and if you buy online like I do, they're 50% off. So that's a really good deal. All righty. Well, since we're talking about buying things, I'll show you a few things. I put in an order to Walmart, a delivery order. These are pencil carriers, and they're cloth, and they've got a zipper. These were 97 cents. I picked up a couple. Let me tell you why. I can't tell you the number of times that I will pack up a little pair of my snips, which no longer close. So that's dangerous to put them in a plastic bag. They're going to stab you. So, but I'll go from room to room. I can put those little, my favorite snips. I can put a spool of thread. I can put a small pin cushion. I can pack some sewing supplies. And pardon me, I had right where I was looking on my laptop was a piece of thread that was bothering me. But anyway, since I had the order, I thought, throw a couple of these in. Let's say I want to go to my daughter's for the day. Instead of packing a nice, I have one of these real nice big zippered things, but I can just throw a little bit into this and go. And 97 cents, my price. All right, so I just thought I would show you that. Let me take my little scissors out of here because I will forget it's in there and then go, where are those scissors? So that's a good deal. Then, oh yes, Missouri Star Quilt had these on their site because they were doing a big Christmas in July thing. And it's a quilt planner sheet. I'm always looking for things like that. I would check out Missouri Star. A gift list. Are you going to make things for people in your family or your friends? I love that idea because I never thought of actually writing down a list, and that would make it easier to remember what you have. On the other side is a project planner. So I don't know about y'all, but I always make things every holiday, every Christmas. I make things for my friends and family. This is wonderful because you can put down what kind of materials you still need to get, what things you have on site, when to do it, how long it might take, whatever, who it's for. So these were free from Missouri Star Quilts. Then, now when did I get this one? Let me put my glasses on. This came from Connecting Threads. So go to connectingthreads.com and there's a free gingerbread pincushion pattern. Free pattern. Isn't that the cutest? Now, they call for using a very small white rickrack. So I'll be looking for that to go on sale. But I'm thinking it's great for using shank buttons for the eyes. I think it's a good time to maybe make some buttons that would be the little raisins for his chest. And that those of you who like doing hand sewing or hand embroidery, you can do a cute little mouth. Whoops, I'm sorry. I was looking at this one. You can do a cute little embroidered mouth. So this is free on Connecting Threads. Thank you, Connecting Threads. That looks like a great project for this Christmas. I do want to add something. I like to put in some walnut shells. First, I put stuffing. Then I put walnut shells near the top to help keep the pins sharp as they go in. But on a soft pin cushion like this, save your Cool Whip lids, any of your disposable plastic lids that come off of projects, and cut a shape similar to this of that plastic lid. Stick that in the bottom piece of the fabric before you start stuffing it. I have a beautiful square pincushion that is my dearest because my daughter, Katie, made it. The only problem is every time I pick it up, the pins come right through the bottom and stick me. So I have looked where she sewed it up. I'm going to carefully open it up, put a square of plastic. Now, if you had a small piece of wood, that would be wonderful. But put something that kind of slows that pin from going through to your hand. Because if any of you have those soft pin cushions that you've been gifted or even you've made, you will know that hurts when you pick it up and a pin grabs you. So anytime you do something like this, it's going to be a flat pin cushion. Put some heavy plastic and recycle it from kitchen products. Okay. Make it easy. Even if it were like I had these containers that my squash came in from the grocery store that sometimes you see under meat and stuff. I could have saved those and put that in it. The needles will still go through it, but it takes more pressure. But it's nothing worse than reaching in a project bag and having the pin cushion get you. So, okay. Then I put in an order, and if you join me for the Wednesday sew-in chat, you got to see this early. I'm trying very hard not to buy fabric. Now, the only reason I'm doing that is because I've got Polly will tell you, Miss Polly will tell you that I have a good stash, and I want to get some of that stash used up because when I'm no longer around, that stash, I'm afraid, might turn into something to go in the garbage can, and that would be wrong. That would just be wrong. Diana, hi, sweetheart. Cheryl's here too. Yay. So I am trying very hard to use up more of my stash and to have a purpose for it. And that same thing, that's why in September, we're going to start doing unfinished. Thank you, Miss Polly. We're going to start having UFO workathons because I realize an unfinished quilt is close to trash. A finished quilt is a giftable heirloom something. You know, they can find something with it. But there aren't many people that will say, I'll take your unfinished quilt, especially if your pieces aren't together. So I'm going to bring this down and show you. This was on Keepsake Fabrics, which you know is the sister company to one of my favorites, Pineapple Fabrics. In fact, this fabric, it came from Pineapple Fabrics. I haven't been there in a good while. But anyway, isn't this the prettiest? It's called Saguaro. And let me see again. Oh, I don't know if I have yes, I have a selvage, I think. Okay. This fabric is Saguaro by, it's written in metallic. Oh my goodness. By Christina Carnell from Maywood Studios. And I love Maywood fabric. So let me show you again. Whoops. It started to come apart. So let me put it all back together to make it easier to show you. These are fat quarters, but I'm wondering if they are the generous fat quarters that Pineapple Fabrics is known for. So this is 12 plus 6 is 18. No, these might be regular fat quarters, but they are lovely. All right. So now let me show you the fabrics. All right. Get the light on here. Here's the first one. And there are 6 fat quarters, and they were $14. That's my price. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Look at the metallic. Whoa. And blue, my favorite color. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then, whoops, wait a minute. We already saw that one, didn't we? Oh, it was in a different colorway. See the difference? And I love fabrics from a collection because you know they will all go together. This has some of the light olive in it with the blues. So here are my 6 fat quarters, and they were only $14, which is pretty good. That's just over $2 a fat quarter. So they were on a special sale, and I got them. And I have no idea yet what I'm going to use them for. So I put them in their own project bag so they can stay together. But it'll make a nice little quilt. So if I see a cool design, I'm noticing clouds are moving in. So Mark was going to go for a bike ride today, and he said there are rain clouds all over. So that was from That was from Keepsake Fabrics, which is the sister to Pineapple Fabrics. All right, talking about things I bought with my Joanne fabrics. I bought pens. I bought that paper. I just put in another order because they didn't have a couple things I had wanted. So they sent me a free shipping number that I could use to say, sorry, we didn't have this in the store because I did curbside pickup. Sorry, we didn't have this in the store, but you can use this code for free shipping. Well, with that thread sale, I put in an order for thread. Last time they had a thread sale, I needed some, and I bought these are the dressmaker spools. Not quite the quality I like, but it was the only thing that was on the sale price. I normally like the XP, Coats and Clark XP, and that's what I use for all of my piecing. Well, the XP were on sale, really good price, and I think it's over today. So what I do, I put in an order for 1 white and 1 black and 1 cream and 4 grays. They call them new gray because gray is what I use most of the time. But when I went to the Joanne Fabrics for the other sale, I'm trying to think of what else I got. It wasn't a very big order, but this was on sale. And I love scrapbook paper for doing journals. And normally, you know how Joann's, they really bump the price up and then put a sale on it. But this was an exceptional sale. So I got 48 sheets of gorgeous embossed scrapbook paper for $9.99. So that was pretty darn good. And there's 2 of each kind. But look at this. So this was a pretty darn good deal. So, isn't that pretty? Now, what do I need that for? Get ready and show you in just a minute. Then Mark and I, let me bring you back down. Mark and I finished our houses that came, and he had a music box that my daughter gave him for Christmas. And so I said, let me look at your scrap wood because there's certain things I'm going to save for the shape. Like if I wanted to use my polymer clay and make a miniature picture frame, look, I've already got the shape of it. I can just lay it on the flat table, press the polymer clay in. So do I save sometimes a little too much? Yeah, sometimes I do, but I have reasons for them. And if I don't use them, then I'll throw them away. Like I had leftover miniature books. Well, I don't want to throw those away. Never know when you'll use those. And something like this, I might be able to use it. But these are the things that I know I'm going to use. Do you see that beautiful filigree on the bottom? That was from the other side of a specific filigree. So these cute little shapes can be used to decorate journals. See this one? Remember this when I show you something in a minute. But look at this gear. Wouldn't that be cool? Paint that and put it on a journal. But I just love all this little stuff because look at that. That was going to be waste. I said, no, save that. So I saved all of these little things. If you like steampunk, there are some gears here that Mark had left over, some leftover beads that I might be able to use on stuff. So I've got a baggie here of all the little things that I think, now what is this in here? A little metal rod. I don't know what I'd use that for, but so yes, I told Mark when it comes time to retire to the beach, we're going to have a lot of things to clean up and clean out and throw away. But at least for right now, I have plenty of things to fuel my imagination, my creativity. So let me put these back in because I've got something I want to show you. All right. And this box is so cool. It would be wonderful repurposed as a gift box. Thank goodness that kind of behavior is seen as kind of being um, ecologically responsible and not just hoarder. And before I show you the next thing, I finished something this week. Ready? Now, I don't know what you're going to think of it. Mark looked at it and went, okay. I went and quilted the background and I had a nice square. And I said, I don't want a square to hang up. It just, I don't know. I looked at it and said, one more square quilt. I don't need another square quilt. So what I did is I cut it out, just hand cut it out based on the shape of the work. And it's okay. You'll either hate it or you'll love it. But for me, it just seemed happy. And we'll talk some more about that. Remind me to tell you about a conversation I had with one of our newest members, Ann Lewandowski. But I just took and cut it out based on the shape. Then I'm going to take I have a Harry Lauder walking stick bush that I trimmed some branches off of. I'm going to then sew it to a branch, and that's what's going to be the hanger. But I thought, when I hang this up, it's just something different, and it made me happy. So just think about that sometime. If you're doing something and you think, I have done it before, change it up. You know, about a year or two ago, we did something where I said, do a live edge, which was just like I had a tree and the edge of the roots were all, in and out. I do love the blue. I love the blue border. I think it really pops with the blues in the quilt. And I'm going to hang it from a stick. So it's going to be a little bohemian. But anyway, and here's the quilting in the back. I told you I was going to do very dense quilting. The funniest thing is I cut off all this quilted area, tossed them. Didn't bother me one bit. So for Mark, this was a little avant-garde, I would say. But I like it. It gives personality to it. It's not just one more square with something stuck in the middle. So, but that is my blue dahlia. So I'm going to take it and hang it up back on this. That way you can look at it a little more and decide, do you love it or do you hate it? But for me, it was something different. Think outside of the box. Do something to make yourself happy. And that made me happy. So I thought, no straight lines in nature. That's true. So it's just something different. And I think now it kind of grabs your attention where otherwise, that's a nice thing on a square, whatever. So, but that's the new Deb. Now, in talking about that, I will tell you about my conversation with Miss Ann, and I don't think she would mind. Miss Ann is prolific as an artist, and she's also a writer. She's very artistic. And she sends me her pictures. She makes a new piece of art almost every day. And she was I think she's been like talking to her husband. He's like, what are you going to do with all these things? And maybe she can sell them, maybe she can't. But she said, I always write back and say, oh, that is so cool. I love that new thing. Her donkey is hilarious. I love that donkey. And her art, her alligators with the flowers on them. And she wanted to know what I thought of it. And I said to her, honestly, I smile every time I see your work because it's happy and whimsical. And it would be that flower would be an elegant pillow. Good thinking. And I said, your work is whimsical and it's happy and it's fun. It's sometimes funny. I said, how do you judge that? I said, if you want to make more realistic landscapes, I can help you with that. But you have a signature. You have a style that no one that I've run across quite does that way. She has her own signature. Miss Jody has her own signature. Malcolm has her own signature. That is a gift. That is a gift. I have had a hard time developing my own signature. I worry too much about what are people going to think about it instead of what makes me happy. I don't think I want to go in and mess around with Miss Ann's work because I think I could see people wanting to put that on their walls, wanting to put it in a children's hospital. That might be a good outlet for some of her things because it makes you smile. And it's such a strong signature. I don't think I should mess. I don't think if she wants to do a more literal landscape, then we can do that. But so far as me coming in and critiquing her work, I think it's perfect just like it is. It's adorable. It's got an innocence to it that I think is needed today. Not everything has to be literal or follow any kind of rules. I can see her working on that and it just making her happy. So that is my thought. That's where I have a hard time, and I always am I'm a big proponent of finding your signature, finding your lane. Not that you have to stay in that lane, but find your heart passion. What makes anybody can buy a kit and make a quilt that looks like a million others that were sold last year. Anybody can do that. But when you have a distinct voice, I would say treasure that. Even if it doesn't, Grandma Moses doesn't look like Van Gogh, doesn't look like Picasso. But guess what? Each one of them are valuable in their own right. Each one stands as quality art in its own right. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. And that's what I want to tell Anne from the bottom of my heart is I feel like she's got something going and it needs to come from within her. I'm not going to tell her anything. I've always had a problem with art teachers in school that said, you should do this, you should do that, you must do this. No, because art truly is in the eyes of the beholder. So, and every time I see a piece of her art, I smile. I love it. So that's my lecture for today. But find your inner artist and run with it. It's so cute. I've got a picture to show you from Melton where she brought home a rock from a vacation and painted on it. And it's an adorable painting. And she said that's when she found her inner artist. And now she puts it into fabric. But how lucky we are to be able to find that inner artist. And honestly, the best thing you can do to find your own inner artist is to stay in touch with that child in you. Because children color and cut and glue with abandon. And that's what we need to possess, because if we are too uptight and too constrained and too worried about what people are going to think, we wouldn't do it. And we might lose a great experience. Just like this. It's not Mark's thing, but it made me happy. And you know what? I sat with the scissors and I cut it freehand because that's what I wanted to do. And guess what? To me now, it's a lot more special than it would have been in a cute, traditional square box. Break out of that box and dip your toes in the water and have fun. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You waste a little bit of fabric and a little bit of time. What's the best that can happen? You can touch into a moment of genius that's inside of you waiting to come out. So now let's see. Oh, I've got a couple more things to tell you. Oh, good. Yep. And rejoice in your own style. So too often in life, we want to be like everybody else. Well, that's boring. I told my kids when I was raising my kids, I said, anybody can walk on the well-worn path, but it takes someone brave and creative to make their own path. And I think it's a lot more fun. So I think that's a good thing. All righty. I've got so many things to show you, and I'll give you a little peek. See this? Would you believe this is 75 cents worth of materials? So I will show you that in just a moment. Here is, I know I was supposed to have this quilted and ready to cut up into a triptych, but I was using my machine that I bought the new $70 bobbin case for, and it, sure enough, it started acting up again. So I'm going to have to reach out to Juki and get help, because I've had it in the shop 4 or 5 times. I've put 3 new bobbin cases in expensively. I don't need to be doing that again. So, but anyway, I was working on this and I was zigzagging with invisible thread all of my tiny components. But I'm really liking this. Part of me hates to cut it up, so I'm still kind of stewing over that. But it's all coming together. It really is coming together. Now, you know how I always tell you, your art will reach a stage where it is like an awkward teenager. And you're thinking, I don't like this. It's ugly. What am I doing? I had that happen. I even told y'all, I don't like it. Or I think I told y'all, I'm tired of working on it, which is my nice way to say, I'm not liking it. And I kept plugging away. I kept plugging away because I told y'all I would do it. You bought a new bobbin case. Yay, Polly. Yeah, I'm thinking there's something a little too touchy with their bobbin cases. So let's see. But Jamming Queen, yes. Oh, that's so easy to do that. You're right. And so I will finish that. This week I'm hoping to finish the zigzagging and get it quilted. And then we're going to look at it together next Sunday and go, now what's the next stage? And we may want to start again with a different triptych, because I'm liking that as a composition. I'm loving it now, and I kind of hate to cut it up. So we'll vote together, okay? Now, And, if we decide not to cut it into a triptych and we have to make a new triptych, yay, we make a new a quilt. So, and Polly's south of me. So I just wanted to let her know that, yes, it is raining. So if it's not raining there, it will be. Get the laundry off the line. Isn't that funny? We used to be so much more in tune with the weather because it was like, oh no, it's raining. Run, get the laundry in. I'm dating myself now. Oh. All right. Now, the other thing I've been working on, because I've got this project to do with you. I'm going to show you how to do this project. The other thing I've been working on, people who came to see me on Wednesday know. And let's see. Here is the fabric that I bought from a wonderful seller in Virginia. Now I have forgotten. On Wednesday, I'll have to put it in the notes. But wonderful seller. I bought this from Etsy. Sorry, I've already cut it into the borders, but here it is. It's a marbling. It looks like this pattern came from, putting the marble paints on a gelatin surface, but there is the fabric. I saw that and said, how can I turn the strips that were used to make the exact strips that were used in here that I made for a second quilt, how can I turn this in to a bargello that goes with this? And because it is summer, and because that reminds me of the beach, I would love to do a beach style theme for my next bargello. One of the things about me is I hate doing things twice, doing the same thing twice. I would have a very hard time working at an assembly line. That I admire those people because for me, it's tough. It is tough. So, are you ready? Oh, let me tell you this first. So, I liked all of this from the white up to the lime green. I liked. What I didn't like are these. And those are 5 fabrics. Now, I had all of the strip sets sewn. I mean, the strip sets sewn and cut. So they weren't sewn together yet, but they were all hanging in order. Mark said, you're going to take those apart? Oh, bye, baby, sweetheart. Oh, take care. We're going to show a picture from you this time, so you'll check back in later. So I said, luckily, the colors I didn't want in it, I could take out as a segment. So I thought, that's easy. Then I just had to find 5 new fabrics to replace those, and so cut them into 2.5-inch strips, sew them together, and then cut those into the same widths that I already had cut. So here is what I've come up with as my new quilt. Oops, let me see how far I can go back so you can see it. So here is the new colorway. And it's very, very different than the primary color. The primary colorway I already have. Let me pin this up so I can talk to you about it. Okay, let's see. All right. Pull my shirt down. Oh, it's nice and breezy and rainy out there. We've had plenty of rain this year. We're very lucky. Okay. Whoops. Come on. It's so funny. Mark was holding it up for me, and he stuck his finger with the applique pin that I had the label on with. And he goes, ow, I stuck myself. And I said, well, it's only an applique pen. And then he's like, yeah, but it still will stick you. And I just got stuck with it myself. So I was like, oh my goodness. So there are the two quilts together. And you can get a chance to see that the 8 remaining fabrics plus the 5 new ones gave me a whole different look. Those looks couldn't be more different, could they? Isn't that something? Okay, Polly, we're going to try to send it to you, darling. Everything has been coming north and going to the east instead of sinking to the south. My daughter needs rain too, and she goes, you keep getting these storms. We're not getting them. I'm like, I know, they're just kind of going a strange way. So here are the fabrics that I chose. I chose one of the fabrics is the marble itself, because luckily I ordered 1.5 yards, so I had plenty. And then I chose this to go with it. Then I chose this to go with it, because I said, so many of my other colors were saturated. I need light shades. Then I chose this. And then I chose this. That plus the marble made up the 5 new color choices. So I'm really happy with it. And then I think that, let me see if I can, then I think when I put this border on it, I think that'll be really nice. But isn't that funny how differently the same, 8 of the fabrics are the same, but it's just those 5 that I changed, and that's pretty amazing. I haven't decided what my pop of color is going to be. I'm thinking right now it's either going to be white or it'll be that lime. Whoop, there you go. That lime right there or the white. I haven't decided. So, okay, so now this is what I've been working on. Oh, let me show you what that really means. Okay, here's the next strip set that I'm going to be using. Let me turn the camera down. But this is, if you ever start a Bargello and you're not happy, then this will help you decide, is it worth fixing? And I would say absolutely. Now, here's one of the problems. This is a short strip. I'm going to have to re-sew this. In fact, I hope you won't mind. I'm going to do it right now so that I don't want this fabric to fall off, and then I would lose it. All right, so I'm going to come back in here. Of course, my needle isn't threaded. Let me put the needle, okay, and put my stitches down to 2.0. All right, where's my foot pedal? All right. Let me line them up good. But every once in a while, you'll find that at a certain spot, you veered. Well, at a certain spot, you might veer a little too close to the edge. I might have to fix a bobbin, but let me just see again. Hold on. Yeah, my bobbin is tangled. But okay, let me show you then. I'm going to put a pin in this because I'm much too afraid of losing that little piece. And having to go cut these exact size pieces would really be a pain. Now put that little applique pin right there because I don't want to lose it. Let me trim off. Boy, have I had lots of threads to pull off and throw away. Look at all this. These are furry strips. All right, so here is my strip. Here is all I had left from the 45-inch or 44-inch, whatever it was. I forget now what it was, but it was a long strip. So this is what I had left. I took the other pieces off from right here. Remember, this was in one big long ring. So what I would do then is I decided this was going to be the next color from the green. So there we go. So I just then sewed this onto this, like this. All right. And do I have, yes, I do. And so I'm going to take my little staple gun. I think it's out of staples. Yes, it's out of staples. So I'll take another little pin and pin it. I think I need to finish cleaning this room and getting it into shape. All right. So I take and sew those two together. All right. Then before I don't take it out from under the needle or anything. I know that this one goes up against the white. So then I run this through, and I have not removed it from the sewing machine. I'm chain piecing the different things. Then this one is here, and I know this one goes against this. So without taking it out of the machine, without cutting the thread, now I sew these two pieces. Then these pieces are still free, so they go and they're sewn together. Okay. Now what I've done, let me bring this up. Whoops, I touched a button off. Okay. Okay. So now what I've done is I've remade the ring. Except, I think, did I turn it? Nope, there it is. I remade the ring. So now the ring goes from white all the way down to the marble. So now here, and as we know, these Bargellos were made with two colorways. So there it is. So really, in the time it took me to pin those, I could have had them sewn. So it, yes, making the new 5 color strips took a few minutes. Yes, cutting them out to make sure they were the same as the other pieces took a few minutes, but the stitching them together takes 5 minutes. So that is pretty easy. Now I'm going to pin this back on the board so I don't lose it. This board has been worth its weight in gold, keeping all of my strip sets in order, ready to go. At one point, I had the back full and the front, or the front and back, both full. So that'll go back upstairs, and I hope to have this rest of this sewn together and the borders on it by next Sunday for you. So I think that's exciting for me. I pulled the fabrics, except for the new border fabric, the new focus fabric. I bought that. That was just 1.5 yards. The rest I pulled from my stash, and just a little bit of time. And now I'm going to have 2 lovely quilts. And it's nice to say, okay, I've got this bold one, but it's kind of nice to see a nice mellow one too. So, and you know that I'm improving the bold one by putting this piano key border on. I think it goes much better than what I originally thought, because that just looks faded compared to the bold stripes. All righty. And I'm already thinking, am I going to gift it to a family member? So there is that possibility. And then I might keep the ocean one for me, because I love the ocean. I love water, swimming. So I think I'm really going to love that. And look, do you see a color theme kind of developing? Look at my dahlia, and then look at the new. That's kind of my color lane that I love. I know, Pat. What next? This is where I don't rehearse. This is just welcome to my life. But I figured hopefully y'all go, oh, yeah, I've had days like that. So now for the big excitement. For me, this is very exciting. All right. This is the journal I just finished making. Hi, Anne. We were talking about you earlier, and you'll have to watch back to the beginning. And this is a journal I made. Now, let me show you. Here is the first page of the journal. I put some lovely stickers. I used some of that wonderful embossed paper on the inside. Then here is the back page, and down here it says Made with Love 2023 by Deb. And then in it, I put a length of a suede like ribbon with a lovely antique key on it. And that is so you can keep your place in the journal. Now, I'm thinking that this journal can be a diary type journal, a place to keep writings, a place to put quilt ideas or quilts you've made and notes about them. And I want to show you. See that decoration on the front? What that is, it's a piece left over from Mark's music box. It's a copper staple that came out of a package that Mark straightened for me. And here is a leaf charm. And then down in this corner is an antique button. So, and as I said, this cost me 75 cents to make and gave me such joy. You wouldn't know it because look how thick the cover. But this is a marble notebook. And the reason I chose the marble notebook is it gives you so many pages. And I took the stain and stained the ends of the paper to help create that ancient look. This is my idea of a fake leather cover. And I don't know if it manages. Oh, I even made, look at the little painted lines to make it look like it was bound by hand and the back. I don't know if this looks like leather to you, but I know it looks old and substantial. And I wonder are you curious to know how I turned a marble notebook into this? And by the way, this will be for sale. I'll probably sell this one for $10. And I hope to give it a good home to somebody who would love it. Okay. So, and I'm going to make more too. Yeah, that's what I wanted it. Thank you. See, I kind of love all the steampunk stuff that's going on and I love historical things, something that looks like it's, from history. But I already told you that I looked online. And I looked online, and if anybody who really does want to buy it, I will sell it to you. I looked online, and the ready-made journals were so thin and had hardly any paper in them. And I thought, no, I want lots of paper. So here was the original journal that I bought. And you can see, it has the stuff. Okay, Mary, I'll save it for you, darling. Mary, the first one's gone to Miss Mary. And just know it's made with love. And when you use it up, the little charm in the back, both of these charms on it, they're real metal charms. So they can be removed. But anyway, okay. So this is. And see how it has all these multiplication charts and stuff? So here we go. What I did is when I go to CVS, I get these thin little. Hi, Laura. I know. Can you believe it's Sunday already? And okay, so this is what I do. I open this up. These are just real thin little bags. But I told Mark, I've always looked at them and thought I could do something with that. So I looked up making faux leather. Okay. I looked up making the faux leather. And I said, and it usually people take and rub it with glycerin or rub it with hand lotion. Where is my seam? Let me put my glasses on so I can see. There's a seam somewhere I can open this. Ah, there it is. So I'm open it carefully. So when I go pick up my prescriptions, I just save these bags. Now you can also use a heavier paper bag too. But I thought, I bet you this would really give a lot of creases, a lot, Okay, so here we go. So you open this out, and it's very thin, very thin. If I had a light behind me, you'd be able to almost see through it. And what you do is you take it and you crunch it up. I am funny, aren't I? Oh, that's neat. Yeah, Pat's chicken salad. When she first told me, she said, I'm making chicken salad. I thought, oh, it sounds good. You have it up for dinner. And then realized it was a quilt as you go, or quilt along. Okay. Now, what I do is then I crunch this all up, and then I come back and I do it again. And I just really give it a really good crunching. Okay. Now, let me find my brush. This will work. Okay. Let me grab. I'm going to grab a piece of freezer paper because Miss Jody taught me this. Grab a piece of freezer paper. All right. And I'm going to take this. Let me turn on the iron. And I'm going to freezer paper this down to my ironing surface so that I can work on this without making a mess. Because I left my silicone mat upstairs. Turn it like this. All right. I love creating. And as I was telling you, so does Miss Ann. It is just fun to create. It's like if I'm not cleaning house, gosh, I hate cleaning house. If I'm not cleaning house, if I'm not working in the garden, then I want to be doing creative stuff. And I have a hard time sitting still. Maybe it won't. Let me see. It might not want to stick to the top. Oh, it's sticking. Okay, it's starting to stick. All right. So Miss Jody taught me this. You take a piece of freezer paper and you iron it down to your ironing board. And that way it gives you a surface to work on. All right, that's good enough for now. Thanks, Miss Jody. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to smooth this out. I'm just going to see something real quick. Okay. I don't know if I want to iron it. It makes the creases too small. So I'm just going to rub it with my hand, rub it out like this. All right. And now I use a good glue. I wouldn't use school glue. School glue would take way too long to dry. I don't want it that washable. Upstairs I have some whoops, pardon me. Hold on. I forgot. Okay, here's the front. You put the glue. What I did with these marble books is I bought cardstock that looks natural. Makes it real easy to glue to because unfortunately the marble notebooks are a little bit slick and sometimes it's hard to get stuff to stick to. So I bought a special Loctite or something craft glue upstairs that I'm using. But this glue, this tacky glue will work wonderfully too. All right. So I make sure I might need to add more, but I'll see. And then I just take the brush and I brush it out, making sure you've got it all the way to the edge. All the way. Now, some people in making faux leather want it to feel like faux leather and not just look like it. So they put kinds of hand lotion on it or glycerin and let it dry and then they wax it and all that. But that's too much work for me. I just want it to look like leather. It doesn't have to feel like it. But look up there things if you wanted to make a wallet or some kind of a little journal, that might be just what you want to do. So now making sure you lay the ad part down. I put it on this where it hangs over 1 inch around the sides. And then I come in and smooth it with my hands. Okay? And you have to put the glue everywhere. You don't want bubbles and things. You want the glue to go all the way to the edge. Okay? Now, let me grab some paper scissors. And I'm going, okay, this is good. I sometimes cut a little bit off on these corners, cut a little bit off where this is a little long, cut where this is too long. Now here, I want about 1 inch that's going to be folded over. So 1 inch around the whole thing. This, I want enough on the spine to cover because you see where the black part of the marble notebook is? So this way it'll cover, and then when the back's put on, when I put the back on, I'll carefully fold the edge to make a nice, neat edge. Yes, any of those good, strong craft glues will work perfectly. Now, when I get to these front corners, let me see. Let me get down a little closer. When I get to these front corners, I'm going to leave 1/4 of an inch off that point and cut the diagonal. Now let me cut the excess off here, leaving 1 inch and cutting the corner off at a diagonal, leaving though 1/4 of an inch because you've got to tuck that in to hide the fact that it's a different paper. So now what I'm going to do is come in and put some glue on these 1 inch extra. Put some glue on all of these. Now, since I build my covers as part of the notebook, I have to be very careful. I don't want to damage the pages inside. And, you know, if I were to actually sew the pages together to make my own pages, then I could make the cover separately and put this together after. So what I'm going to first do is fold this over nice and snug. And that covers where the cardstock and the binding. I don't put cardstock on the binding because I want you to be able to open this up and lay them out. All right, now I'm going to take all of this and lay it over. And then I'm going to cut away part of this. I don't need this little piece here. And I'm just going to make a slight fold there because I want it to be able to tuck in cleanly. And I just pull this snugly over. Let me get a little bit of this off over here. I'm going to tuck a little bit of this under. And whoops, not quite that tucked under. Let me, okay, just there we go. And I'm going to then take, now you might see this and go, well, that looks a little messy. Well, don't worry, that's going to be covered. But you want to make sure you pull it and you've got it pretty snugly pulled over the edge of the cardboard. And then in the corners here, you're going to put a little touch of glue right on that little 1/4 of an inch that's left. Let me make sure I have enough glue everywhere else. Okay. And you're going to tuck in that corner first. So tuck in that little 1/4 of an inch corner like this. Okay. Now, if you have a bone folder, all the better. Oops. If you have a bone folder, bring it in. You can use anything that gives you a nice firm edge, a 6-inch ruler, something, just make sure you don't tear the paper. All right. So now I just carefully, because that paper is a little thin, just take and rub this. And here now is your front cover. Okay, well, that looks like a crunched up paper bag. And you wanted leather. So now let me put some water in here. Let me see. Yes, I do have. I'm going to mix my paints in this. All right. So now, normally I would let that dry, but it really doesn't take too long. All right. Now I'm going to spray the water in this. Okay. Spray the water in here. Now I'm going to take some brown paint, brown acrylic. Whoops. Put some brown acrylic here. Right. And I'm going to mix it with the water. You really want it thinned down because I'm not trying to paint the book brown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it like this. And it's still, so it's a little translucent, okay? Make sure you get over on this spine. Now, normally I would do the paper on the front and the back, but I'm trying just to get this done. All right, let me make up a little bit more. Okay. Come on, paint. I need to get some more brown. I'm just about out. All right. And a little bit more water, but you want it nice and thin. Okay. Put this on. All right. So there you go. Now you have it with the light brown. Take Take off some, you don't have to, you just want to dry your brush up a little. Into this light brown, I'm going to put some black acrylic. And I'm going to take and brush that around and kind of brush it around enough that you have more of a dry brush than a wet brush, okay? More of a dry brush than a wet brush. And now this would be closer to, it can be a little bit drier, but it doesn't have to be. And what you're going to do is kind of just glide the brush across, hoping to mostly hit the texture, okay? Mostly hit the texture. And go around the edges where it's been handled and make those a little, make the edges a little bit darker. But kind of brush it on, go both directions like this. So now are you starting to see how, number one, the texture is being brought out, but also it's given it a depth and look that it might be a leather or some kind of ancient binding. Okay? Now, you're not done yet. Now I'm going to take some metallic paint. And I've got to be careful not to use too much of this. And I'm going to squirt some, oh, I should have shaken it. Well, let me try to, it's been a while since I used this one. Let me try to re-immerse the polymer back in with the pigment. Yeah, shake your paints if it's been a while since you used them. But just kind of keep kind of brushing that paint in so that it's fully aerated and starts to get slightly drier and tacky. You see what we're doing? And then carefully, even lighter handed than you did the black, go over it with this slight metallic look. Okay. Now let me see. Okay, it's getting there. And don't forget, do the edge. All right, so there we are. Isn't that neat? That's a free little bag from the store and a marble notebook and a natural piece of a natural kind of cardstock. That because whoops, now if I put too much right there, then come in here and take a little bit of that off. If there are places it's a little dark, just come in and take some of that off. Until it's dry, you can mess with it. And if you take off too much, you can come back in and put a little more back on. So then after I did the front and back this way, then I came inside and used, let me see. What did I do? Oh, well, here's a piece of it to show you. What I did is got a piece of that wonderful magical paper, and I made a pattern of the inside of this page. Then I put, so I had it so where it was just 1/8 of an inch short, top and bottom, just 1/8 of an inch. So that way you've got the paper, then you have, then you put this 1/8 of an inch shorter, top and bottom, 1/8 of an inch shy of this edge, and you glue this down. So that's, hi, Linda, it is so good to see you. And I do that in the front and the back. And then I go into my baggie of magic tricks. Oh, there's that paper over there. I go in here and I find things. Upstairs today, I found antique buttons, and I asked Mark if he could flatten the shanks on them or take them off. Oh, thank you. Now, not all of them are going to be this way. Some of them are going to have different fabrics on them, but there'll be some that I'll do this way. Then there's some that I've got fabrics like that look like the old fashioned maps, globes, and stuff. I've got fabrics with sewing stuff on them, all kinds of things. You can do the same thing with fabric. Absolutely. So I'll show you those next week. I figured I'll show you step by step. But this is, let me bring the camera up. This is the one that Miss Mary wants. But and see this antique button? We just flatten the shank. These, look at that, just little found objects. I'm going to go through my junk drawer. I have these stickers that are made to go on the pages to give it more look. Now you can see this. Here's a piece of, I'm pretty sure it's faux suede, and with the key on it, and that serves as a great place marker. Some of them I might put some elastic banding so that it can be closed shut. Some of them I might put a pocket on the inside if you wanted to add little things. But this is what I am going to do, and then it's signed on the inside. And to me, this is just fun. It is just fun, and it's using up little bits of things that I've had stuck in drawers or just had left over from building miniatures, and I think it's cool. So anyway, but there you go. Now you can see how I did it. There's Melanie. Oh, good, honey. Little bit of pain, but not like before surgery. Wow. So now you know how to do it. And if you wanted to make it feel like leather too, then you would wait until this dried. You would put some thickened hand lotion and, just run it through. Or do you color it maybe after you let it dry? But you then would wax them. What I do with these is I use my wonderful sealer. Let me move this light. It's glinting too much. I use the wonderful sealer so that it's now protected and safe and can really hold up to a lot. So there we are. And I just think it's fun. I think all this stuff is fun. So, all righty. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And you see, it is very, very easy and inexpensive to do. It does take some time. Yeah, the sealer is, I'm trying to remember the name. It's the same sealer I use for my paper beads. Triple thick. I love triple thick because it's not sticky like Mod Podge is. And I just think it's cool. So next week, I'll come back and show you some journals that I've done with fabric. And they'll also have the inner pages lined with that wonderful paper. Oh, good, Melanie. I am so glad, and I am so happy that you got her shoulder was down to bone on bone. And that had to have been horribly, horribly painful. I think her doctor said that was a messy looking shoulder. So, sometimes we forget to take good enough care of ourselves. We get injured. We need that surgery. And yeah, no one likes surgery, but when it's done and you can start moving and doing things, that is wonderful. So we're so proud of you, Melanie, hon. Oh, good. You're starting to be able to use it a bit. Good, good, good. I know she's got physical therapy to go through, but let me tell you what, physical therapy is a modern miracle. Let me tell you. All right, let's see. I'm so glad to see you, hon. Waxed shoe polish will have, oh, that's a great idea, Linda. That's a great idea. Yay. Yeah, physical therapy. People don't realize how important physical therapy is. They know what they're doing. I had a back that I could hardly walk. My back was acting up so badly. And after going to physical therapy, I was never bothered by it again. So physical therapy is worth its weight in gold. You might not look forward to it, and it might hurt a little bit, but it is wonderful. Let's go see what you've been doing. I also have to apologize. I have not made it outside to take pictures of my garden. So I apologize for that. All right. Oh, let's show this again. I was cleaning out pictures today and I thought, oh, I can't bear to clean this out yet. I love Miss Alexis's work, our grand Galvatron. She is just so cute. She's talented. Look at her new trademark. I mean, how awesome is this? And then if you want to see immaculate stitches, she is the best hand embroiderer I've ever seen. Beautiful, beautiful work. So way to go, Miss Grand. So let's see. I would assume, no, wait a minute. She might have graduated. I was trying to think if she had classes starting up again soon. Now I've forgotten. Okay, here we go. Miss Ann. Miss Ann, I do hope that you'll start watching from the beginning because we talked about your wonderful artwork. And that is what it is. Look at this. Isn't that just wonderful? I love it. She has a way of putting together collages that are just so happy. And I tend to be a literalist, but she's able to bring whimsy to hers that are just phenomenal. And what I've always said, if you can find your own voice, your own signature style, that is the biggest part of finding your way in the art world. I just love these. These have a simple but in some ways simple, but in some ways complex joy about them. I love it. Here is how she starts something with all her little pieces scattered around. You can tell these make her happy. They make us happy, but they also make her happy, and you can see it. Right? Let's see what's next. And I know she doesn't have as big a. Now, the only critique I would even make about this one is bring your subject matter down. But that, I love. I love your style. I love the special stitches in here. That is wonderful. But see the joy? There is just something, the way that the flowers are red with the red and white stripe behind them, that is just awesome. That's where she's just a natural. That's why I really wouldn't mess around with her style. I think she's got it. I love that donkey. That donkey makes me laugh every time I see it. I love it. We need joy in the world. And these, look at her alligators and then the little fish looking around. I mean, that alligator is the cutest thing. His little eyes. I mean, oh my gosh. And look at that sky. That's amazing. She puts things together that I wouldn't have thought of. And I love looking to see what she's going to do next. Look at this. It's an alligator with bones and flowers and stars. I just love that. I was telling him, Miss Ann, if you need to Do something with some of these. I wonder if children's hospitals would ever like them, or daycare centers, because they're just so happy. And then she's also a writer. So she does a lot of beautiful, she'd like to incorporate her fiber art with her writing too. So that's wonderful. Gosh. And I love that she celebrates her art. I love this. I love that canoe and the oars sitting there. That is so neat. And this is her latest that she had all the parts set out for. Nice. Let me see. Okay. I thought, let me make sure there's not something else. But the way she pieces and puts things together, I wouldn't change it. And her little cornfield and the corn stalks bundled, and that is just so cute. So it's a way of looking at the world that I just think is fun and refreshing. Ah, isn't that nice? I love her writings too, and I'm so glad that she dated them and to leave so that one day someone finds that they'll understand more about it. All right, so thank you, Miss Ann. And like I said, you'll have to go back and watch the repeats to see what we talked about you. It's all good. I can tell you that. Now, this is Betty Middleton, but I may have some Betty Meisner mixed up in it, and I apologize if I do. I love this. That is awesome. So now I'm sitting here thinking, how did they do that? And these little pieces are bead end caps, but don't they work beautifully? So I think we need a tutorial on how to do this. And I apologize. I have a Betty Middleton and a Betty Meisner. Well, I'm having to put their whole name on the folder now because Betty M means I'll get them all mixed up again. All right, let me go back. Let me see how to do this. Let's escape. No. Huh. Let me try it again. Whoop. No, I didn't mean to do that. But one of the Bettys did it. Okay, here we go. Then I think this is Betty Middleton that did this one. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Let me bring it up. Okay. I love it. Love, love, love it. And this is Debbie Holt's Bargello. So, boy, that is way out of that's in the wrong place. Now, I've forgotten whether this is Betty Middleton's or Betty Meisner, but it's a wonderful Bargello jacket. And that's another thing to remember. Bargello strips are wonderful in clothing, very dramatic. I love that she put something special on the back. So there we go. Thank you very much. All right, now we'll move on to what I know is Betty Meisner's, and she worked on the Bargello when we had our week-long class. So here is early strip. I love the colors. Love them. And these are colors you might not say, oh, that's going to work together beautifully. But look at that. It's gorgeous. Love, love, love that. Way to go. All right. I can't wait to do another class. Might be September, October before we can do it again, but I would love that. Now, here is Miss BB's beach scene that she did. And I love the way she did that sun. I love the rocks and stones on the beach, the umbrella. I like that she used some kind of trim for the beach grasses, and that comes out onto the border. What a grand idea that is. And I love her dune grasses. I just think she did a really good job. The lace for the waves. Lace is very effective for waves. So and the way she quilted it, I think she did outstanding. Way to go. Yay, BB. All right. Now I've done the same thing here. Let me see. And then look at this. That looks like components of a New York Beauty or Mariner's Compass. That is gorgeous. Just beautiful. And her use of color is extraordinary. Pardon me, I might not have thought of using the lime that close to the gold, but I love it. So her use of color is what I call exuberant. And that's right up my alley. I love bright colors in all their glory. All right, I don't really have anything to show you, but here is Debbie Holtz. And this is that one I love because it combines piecing with, she did a pelican on the post. This one is a seagull. That one's a pelican, and she put a very brave sailboat out there. I say brave because if you go on the ocean with a sailboat, you are brave. That is wonderful. And look, she pierced and sewed on some shells. Oh, here's another pelican. Oh, what a great idea. Now, see, I hadn't thought of pelicans, but pelicans are in Florida and California, so I hadn't even thought of a pelican. What a great idea. Good job, Betty. And I love her waves and things. She did use some rickrack. I'm not sure I see something else. I can't quite decide what it is, but beautiful, beautiful job. Way to go, hon. Okay. Now, let me see. Oops, can I go? Yes, I can go forward. Look at this cute quilt. Isn't that precious? I love her puppy quilt. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm wondering if she used a company that two ladies I met that were called Country Caboodle or something like that, because they are precious. And then look at this beautiful, beautiful quilt. Very nice. All right. Looks like it has components of the binding tool star to it too. So thank you, Miss Betty. All right, now let's see where we're going. Joni, we haven't seen her much lately, but she's busy with a new grandchild. And here is the Bargello quilt that she made from the class. That is beautiful. Joni, you outdid yourself, sweetheart. You outdid yourself. I can see she added a few extra rows too. Brilliant. When we were teaching this class, there was extra fabric at the end. And I said, I'm just going to take mine and cut it up and extend the pattern. And that's what she did. And it is gorgeous. I love the black accent for her inner border. It really frames it beautifully. So have fun with that new grandbaby, and we'll see you soon. That is Miss Joni. All right, Kathy Klein. She also did her quilt. Look at this. She also has finished her quilt, or just about finished it. That is amazing. And I love it. The fabric she chose gave it a look of like an ancient and tapestry. It is beautiful. It really harkens to the hand embroidered beginnings of Bargello. Just beautiful. So thank you, everybody, for doing this, participating. It's a lot of fun. And if you end up doing any of the Bargellos, please send your photos to us. We love them. We have a new member named Laurie, and she has sent a few pictures of a few of her quilts. Look at that. That's a lot of stack and whack. Very nice job. A beautiful Lone Star. I love the way she finished it. Look at this kitty quilt. That is so cute. I love collage animals. Look at this beautiful, beautiful table runner. Isn't it pretty? And it's simple, but beautiful. We'll have to remember that. Look at, now Miss Melanie will like this one. Look at this cute doxy, collage doxy. That is wonderful. Nice piano key border. Look at this. This is very, very geometric, and it really pops. Beautiful work. She looks like a very good seamstress. Now, Miss Jody's going to love this one because it's got one of her matinee monsters on it, the Wicked Witch of the West. I love that. And it looks like there's a band student over here. Maybe it's a sports jacket, but I was like, that's cool. All right, now, let me see. Look at this, the pinwheels, and look at all those angles, and the colors are gorgeous. Way to go. And this is so cute. Now, I don't know if this is Laurie herself. Whoops. I was trying to enlarge it. Don't know if this is Laurie herself, but what a great quilt. So musical. Okay. Oh, good. I got it back. And then I think there's one more right here. And this is a wonderful panelized quilt. And she did a beautiful job with that. So she's got a good eye for color and design. Way to go, Miss Laurie. Welcome to our group. All right, who is next? Let me see. There we go. Miss Mary. Yay. And you know what, Mary? I thought I had garden photos of you, but I haven't put them up yet, I guess. I'm sorry. But look at this. And notice there are some similarities with Betty Meisner's Bargello. But they're beautiful. They're just gorgeous. I tell you what, turquoise is my favorite add-in fabric. Favorite. And I have that fabric too, I think. I love it. Isn't it fun when you see fabric you know you've had? Like, I recognize that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm trying to remember what she named it. If you're here still, Miss Mary, tell them what you named it. I think it was something like before and after. It was just really cool. Okay, Miss Meltem from Turkey, get ready for some fun. All right, look at these beautiful pictures from her vacation. Oh, gosh, I love that sunset. Isn't that beautiful? We are drawn to the ocean or the sea or the lake. And here is the latest thing in her shop. I love, love, love her work. She's so artistic. So don't forget, her shop is, it's not an angel. It is, hold on. Now, wait a minute. I had it over here. I just ended up, I think it was Swan Quilt Art. Oh, I hope she's here and can clarify that. I lost my little cheat sheet note. And look at the magnetic closure, interior pockets. Her work is exquisite, beautiful. Here is a pistachio dessert. Oh, I love pistachios. I know that has to be fantastic. Isn't that beautiful? I love the colors and textures of turkey. And then here is, she was telling me about fountains that they have fountains that they set up in memory of loved ones so that the loved one can, in perpetuity, take care of passerbys and travelers. So even when during the pandemic they stopped some of the fountains from running, look at the water bottles put there. But it's a family's way to give praise to Allah and to remember the family member who's passed. Isn't that beautiful? I thought that was just lovely that they care for passerbys. That is what, talk about paying it forward. That's beautiful. Then here is a very, very old house that she was showing us some of the ancient ruins that she found during her vacation. I love looking at how that house was built. That's fascinating. Okay. And then here is a woman's bazaar. So women come, it looks like there's figs in this bucket here, and tomatoes and things that they grow at home or on their property, and they come and sell. I think that's marvelous. Well, that's a woman's bazaar. Here is another one of those amazing water fountains that give praise to Allah and honor the relative's name. Here is a woman. I mean, I love the juxtaposition between modern lighting and modern architecture and this beautiful, immaculate cow that's being grazed by its owner. Isn't that interesting? I love that. What a composition that is. And here is another old, little tiny, old building sitting in beside more modern buildings. That is fascinating. I love it. Here is the rock that she got on one of her vacations. And when she got home, she painted it and realized, I love art. And that started her journey to find her artistic side. And I think that is just lovely. And how happy I am for her that she found that, because it's changed her life. It's changed all of our lives. Okay. Michelle, her beautiful tulip quilt right here. I love this. I love the sharp, bright colors. And then in the background here, you see the Bargello quilt that Michelle made years back when she lived not far from here. Okay. Now, let's see who's next. Patricia Fry. Patricia got a new baby. Now, don't groan, because most of us only would like a new one kind of baby, which is a new sewing machine baby. Those of us who long ago raised our own kids, this is the only kind of baby we would like. Isn't that beautiful? It's a brother, and let me see. I'm trying to read it. Oh boy, she'll have to tell you. I can't quite make it out. I knew what it was the other day, but that is a beautiful sewing, embroidery, and quilting machine. Yay for Pat. And this is her chicken salad quilt that she's working on, that I thought she's making dinner. So she said all she's got left are beaks and feet. That is so cute. And she can tell you where you can find the chicken salad. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't have it with me. But isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. She's doing a wonderful job. Look at this. I love the different color pattern of eggs the chicken is setting on. Thank you for showing that to us, Pat. That looks like a fun project you're working on. I wish I had saved a picture of what the whole quilt's going to look like because it's really, really great. Here is Robin's, one of her decorative flower beds. And isn't it, oh, it's beautiful. The layers of plants and color. Rudbeckias and Monarda and purple cone flowers. These are coral bells that bloom in the spring. I mean, she's got cosmos. She's got so many wonderful plants. And I love the way she's layered them from shortest to tallest. Very accomplished gardener, Robin. And look at this. Look at this squash plant right here. It looks like to me that's a zucchini. That is just massive. And I love all the portulacas. They love hot sun. And what a joy it is to see those in the garden. And then she's got tomatoes. Oh, and look at these cosmos. They're beautiful. So just wonderful. Looks like some asparagus. And look at this flower bed. That is wonderful, right around the bird bath. Oh, it's a bird bath with a fountain run by solar. I love it. Now, look at this. She told me she took a balloon with, what do you call it? It's when you get the acrylic paint that kind of runs and you smooge it. And she had put it into a balloon. I'm not sure how she does it. I want her to tell us, but I love that. That is great. Or does she dip a balloon into the paint? I'm not sure, but we will ask her, I promise. Oh, Robin, we want to know more about how you did that. She said it left a mess in her sewing room. Well, if it were me, oh yeah, it would have left a mess everywhere. This is Sheila's. It is a heart bargello. And once you get used to making the bargello strips, oh, you can turn them into all kinds of things. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you, Sheila. Now, let's see. Then Teresa Juki sent some pictures. Teresa Jukovic. And I love the colors in that bargello. And it's a block bargello, which is, what a great idea. It kind of takes and simplifies a huge bargello and you put it into a small block. So I love that. I love this quilt. I love the Happiness is Homemade quilt. Oh, look at the Dresden plate or Dresden tie. And here she's got, I don't know if it's a stack and whack, but it's one of the wonderful, wonderful kaleidoscope quilts. Way to go, Miss Teresa. Thank you for thinking of us and sending us photos. We love inspiration, and photos give us inspiration like nothing else. I think Miss Teresa's was the last one. So let me turn. Oops. Now that probably surprised you. Sorry about that. I loosened it just enough for it to fall. Okay. And let me come back to y'all. I'm sorry about that. I'll make y'all nauseous, that's for sure. So I'm going to, I want to show you that. Now let me come back to y'all. Well, we've had a full and busy show today. So yes, everyone is so talented. And every time I see those photos, I think, ooh, I want to do one of that. Or, ooh, I want to do one of this. So there are the two colorways of bargello. So if one doesn't appeal to you, maybe another one was. Maybe one of the beautiful ones our group members made. They were exquisite. And I showed you the finish of the blue dahlia and the progress I showed on the earth, wind, and fire. And I think this was the last thing. And this is going to be traveling to see Miss Mary. So anyway, I hope I gave you a lot of things to think about. I'm tired. I think I'm going to go upstairs and get in the hammock because I've been a busy girl. But thank you. I miss Thursday nights, but I love having the extra time to really go more in depth in the things that I love best. So we will see you next Sunday and sometime during the day. One day this week, I might just show up and sew with you. So I hope to see you then. Everyone, take good care of yourself. Please keep our members who are having some physical problems, keep them in your heart and your mind. And we will get together and do. Oh, let me see. We've got a message. The grandfather's house is even older. The cows live downstairs. Yes, I heard about that because that was a way that it was done even in England back some time ago. The livestock lived downstairs, which helped heat the upstairs, and it kept it close by because if you have a really snowy, tough winter, it's hard to go from the house to the barn. So that is fascinating. Oh, thank you for sending those pictures, Melton, because you know what? We love learning about the world, and Turkey is like the ancient seat of civilization. There's a lot of interesting, amazing history there. So thank you for that. And everybody, thank you for showing up, spending this time with me. And I'm going to go lay in my hammock. Bye-bye, everybody. You're the best. See you next week. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Oh, that's one and a grocery store. That is wonderful, Melton. Thank y'all. Mwah.